So welcome, Dr. Peng.
Hello. Good morning, everyone, and everybody on the internet. Okay, it's my honor to be here. Actually, I'm a user of LUX, and I sometimes when I check the air quality data from EPA, sometimes I also check the LUX data. And my background, I'm a meteorologist, and I graduated from when I graduated from university to be a professor, and I quit my job to set up the weather company in Taiwan. And then I have several jobs, and actually my major job is for the weather company. And the weather company not only for the weather, also the air quality. And another thing is I become a weather presenter on TV and also internet. So, and another role is I'm a chair of the Taiwan Open Data Alliance. So I promote open data to push the government open more data and to make the data economy. That means, for example, LUX is from the education, from academia. However, it can make some business in the future, probably. And so it's my honor to be here to let me understand what's the business model, probably the business model in the future. And actually, in the beginning, my background, my master's thesis about more than 24 years ago is doing about air qualities. And my major job is to measure the mixing height. Mixing height means when we the air pollutants, they were mixed in the air. There was a kind of a height about 1 kilometer. And sometimes during the summertime you will be higher, and during the wintertime you'll be lower. It's just like a box. In the box, the volume is quite big, the air quality is good, but if the box is very small, and so you will get lots of high concentration because the volume is very small. And that's my master thesis doing about this. And so I can use this. And later on, when I start my PhD thesis, in the beginning, I want to do the air quality modeling in the beginning. And however, I changed the topic to measure all of this. And I went to the Yangming Mountain to collect a lot of the cloud and to study such as kind of the problem. For example, the air pollutants in Asia, dust storm, and also biomass burning from Southeast Asia. And this is my PhD thesis. I go to the Yangming Mountain, very cold, sometimes about 0 degree, and I collect the cloud water to analyze this. And later on, I use some kind of model to measure the, for example, the acid rain problem, the long range transport from China, and the air pollutants in the rain, and later come to Taiwan. What's the effect of the contribution for the South Bay deposition into Taiwan from China and to South Taiwan, South North Taiwan is quite different. Just like when we talk about the PM 2.5, where the source come from? Probably maybe 1/3 from China. And what's the percentage, the local contribution or long range transport? We should understand the problem. And another problem is Asia dust storm. And about more than 20 years ago, the Asia dust storm is a severe problem. Sometimes during the summertime, wintertime, springtime, also wintertime, you will get, because of monsoon flow, the dust storm will come to Taiwan. And not only Taiwan, but also Korea and Japan. Sometimes for the hospital, there was lots of people there because of dust storm. Another is the semiconductor industry. This case was in Korea about 20 years ago. That case is very interesting. Encouraged me to go to the business because I found the knowledge about air quality and the weather can make money, such as for this case. And during that time, I set up a dust storm forecasting system. I make just kind of a data chain from, for example, the first one is from the CWB, our government weather bureau, to get all the weather data, forecast data. During that time, just 5 days, and later on go to our model, and I use a trajectory model to predict the dust storm. And this is my some case. And during that time, there's no data at all. So I find lots of the sources. For example, this is, I think it's more than 20 years ago, it's about urban air quality data. It's just PM10, no, TSP, no PM10. So that's the only data I can get. And later on, I did a lot of the simulation. I collect that from the satellite data and also some kind of the for example, LiDAR data to know what's the structure of the dust storm and when they transport. Not only the surface layer, it is from the high height, very maybe 5 to 10 kilometers transport to Taiwan. And later on, this is the case is very interesting. I simulate the case in Korea to make the model simulation. For example, in Korea, sometimes they have lots of dust storm go to Korea, from Mongolia to Korea, and the concentration is very high. Okay, there was one code here. And actually the model simulation is quite good, but the problem is you don't know, you cannot understand the dust, the sand, the desert area because of strong wind. So you can do just like back and forth to make the simulation. So that's the tricky game to make the simulation for during that time. And after that, I also do lots of interesting things. One time, about 10 years ago, I got a phone call from our government official. This case was in Kaohsiung, because some elementary students, they smell something, toxic air, and our EPA want to know where is the source come from. So they use such as kind of the methodology to know where the source come from. So for example, I smell something wrong, so I can predict the airflow. So I would say, okay, this airflow from this U2, and can you prove you pollute the air or not? So that's a good issue during that time. And actually, the transition of air pollution problem is from a long time ago. Is from local. For example, we can see just like the Ping case recently, very hot news in Taiwan. And the local air polluters, and they will produce lots of air. And they are regional in Taiwan, in east of Taiwan, in west of Taiwan. Actually, it's a regional problem. And also in Asia, it's cross nation, or another one is cross continental. So not only the air quality, but also the dust storm, acid rain, mercury, and the dioxide problem. And when I set up my company, I still keep the air quality people there. So in the beginning, right now we have a weather model. The weather model, we run the weather model to gather the global data, and later on we run the regional model. We call WOLF model, and we collect other data. For example, the ECMWF is a global data set. I think it's the best data quality in the world, and also from the Germany, ICON data, and also NSAP, and also Panasonic. Panasonic also predict the weather, the global weather. The quality they claim is almost equal to the ECMWF. And later on, and I also keep the air quality model. We run the CMAC. But the problem, the CMAC have lots of problems. And recently, in these 2 years, because I joined the Global Weather Presenter organization. So this organization called CAMS, they contact us. Dr. Peng, can you use our data? So the ECMWF air quality data, they provide the data for free to us. And so that's why we use. And I also keep my PhD thesis. It's called high-speed trajectory model. We can predict the air qualities. And the air quality prediction, there were 3 problems. One is the weather model. And for example, can you predict the weather very precisely, or just predict, for example, today just a sudden rain and some cloudy and strong wind and also sunny. How can you predict for each hour? For example, this morning when I wake up, because sudden rain in Taipei, and when I go to the Taipei station, heavy rain. So you cannot predict the real rain. And if you cannot predict the real rain, how can you predict the air qualities? So the first problem is the weather model. Can you predict is well or not? And the second problem is the emission data. And sometimes the emission data, we cannot get the real emission. Sometimes we can get the average yearly emission data. And another one problem is the air quality model. For example, this is our weather forecast model. We got the global model data. For example, the global model data, the major is from EU or also from the EU. It's a huge data. One day is about more than 10 gigabytes data. and we download it to our cloud server, and we run our local model later on. And this is our forecast process, and we should gather emission data, and later on into the weather model, and later on to run the air quality model. And however, the model is just only the prediction, but you should need to verify by the meteorologist. So in this time, I just tell you the two roles. One is the meteorologist, just that like me, is from the weather department, meteorology department, atmospheric science. And however, not every meteorologist, they can understand the air quality. It's atmospheric chemistry or physical. It's quite different. So not only the meteorologist, and not every meteorologist can understand the air quality problem. And for example, just we met is in the air quality model or weather model have some problem. The first problem is the land use. We spent 1 year to modify the land use in Taiwan. We use the MODI satellite data to collect the new land use. But we still have one problem. When we see the real data, we cannot see the Taipei 101 there. Just smooth area. Oh, this is Taipei. This is Taipei Basin. And even we cannot understand whether our Da'an Park is the biggest park in Taipei City. And another problem is the terrain. And before that, our model is too close. It's 5 kilometers. And I asked our team, so where is the maximum terrain, maximum mountain in Taiwan? You know, max level is about 2,400 meters. And right now, we update this one to 32. It's not Jade Mountain. Jade Mountain is about 4,000 meters. And another problem is in our weather, we have a new issue is called data assimilation. Data assimilation means, for example, the weather right now, and we can collect the data. And this can be the initial condition to predict, to simulate. And but for the air quality, because air quality station is not enough to cause, not uniform. So it's not easy to get the air pollution forecasting as you have initial data for that. So sometimes how can the air quality model predict? Sometimes they will use yesterday's emission, maybe about 1 day. For example, today we got a very severe air pollution problem, but the model know nothing at all. So it's not easy to predict the air quality model well. And after the model simulation, we will do the visualization. And we use another software. It's not software, it's a kind of the assistant to make the big data to visualize for the TV. And this is the case. Actually, this is a movie. And this case is what it happened maybe 3 days ago in Taichung City. The Taichung City, one area, the PM2.5, actually it's ozone problem because the wind, there was some problem. There was subside air. And so it's very stable there. So we can use the simulation tool. And after that, we can use this to help our people. These ladies, beautiful ladies, her background is meteorologist, but her master thesis is doing the air quality. So she can say something about that. But not everyone have the ability to do that. For example, another guy, and actually she is very beautiful, and everybody votes for that because during the last year was a summer university, and it's a complete game. So he broadcast to everyone for the people to join the game and to know the air quality for the Taipei city. And but her background is not meteorologist at all. So she just tell everybody the data. So everybody, okay, today whether the air quality is good, but do nothing. Today air quality is bad, do nothing. And when we predict the air quality, sometimes we use lots of model. This case is we use the ECMW CAMS model. In the beginning, we don't use the global model at all, but we use our regional CMAC model. But recently, we give up our model. We always look about this because this model, they have a very good data assimilation. For example, today, the air quality in Taipei is bad. They collect the data and input their model. So they can simulate the air quality is better than the others. And this is the case. We use their model to predict the local pollution. And there was some value. For example, this is the peak value. and also peak time. There was some lag for the local pollution, but for their case, it's a long-range transport case. This is around the Christmas day last year, and the peak time and the peak value they can capture is very good. And later on, for example, this is the EPA case. EPA 1 day ago, its prediction is quite good, the air quality is good, but it's wrong. It's wrong. And another case is our New Year Eve. And in the beginning, they can predict the value is quite good. But there was some error there. And sometimes we think it's a local contribution. And recently, what we can do, because we do the weather first. So we use the AI to modify the weather forecast. Because we have the observation with the prediction, they combine together to use a kind of deep learning process. So recently, for example, this is case for the temperature. This is the error. In the beginning, lots of the model simulation, the error will increase coupling with the day. But right now, after the AI, it modified this. So recently, we do the temperature, precipitation, wind first. And so recently, we want to do this for the air qualities, but we need more data. And just this is what we think about the observation, from the observation and also prediction. So right now, we only use the EPA or local government EPB's site data. And however, we propose to use the airbox from government or from the private sector data and put to our prediction model. The prediction still have the weather model and air quality model. For example, recently we want to use the EC Wolf model. It's a beta model data. And we also try to get the source data from our government weather bureau. And later on, actually you still have some lots of data source from the windy or from the Earth Newell School, and it's open data. But actually, for our side, our use, our air quality forecast, they will make some modification. And in the future, I think the AI is a good tool for us. And for the media, we use this to provide the public needs. For example, TV or website to the public. And later on, for example, this is case. I educated people. Okay, today is from the China, it's long-range transport, and this is local pollution. So every day we will do these things. And but there's some problem because public want to know the answers. What's the pollutants? Where are the sources? How can we do? May we predict it? Can we clean it? So lots of people, when they know the air quality problem, so they want to the answer. But just we know the traditional weather presenter cannot answer the questions at all. So probably in the future, we should work together. And that's the plan, what we want to do. The first thing is we will join the other organization. For example, JWA is from Japan. It's a weather organization. They also predict the weather in Asia. Weather air quality. And also NASA GeoSpy can measure the air qualities. And we hope we can work with us in the future more closely. And also working with the EU, because the EU, they have a global model forecast. And however, their Asia resolution is too coarse. And we want to let them know they can use our computing resources to run more details. And we also sharing the data. For example, if you want the weather data, we can provide you the data. And another important thing is the education. So recently, this is my team. My partner was a weather presenter in Belgium. Recently, they are very famous because of football game. And WMO is a World Meteorological Organization. It's a the UN weather organization. And she was invited. We set up an NGO called Weather Without Borders. And we have lots of all the global weather presenters working together. And we launched the Climate Without Borders last year in European Union. And we also go to the UNFCCC. We build the communities. And we have lots of games in the COP meeting. COP meeting is a climate change conference. Recently, just I found the climate change and air quality, there was some linkage together. And we have for example, in the COP meeting, we have a press conference, and we also have a side event there. So I think in the future, such is kind of the weather presenter globally. They will in each country, sometimes they will have their own weather presenter. and they are good communicators to the public. So I think that in the future, the LAS should let everybody knows the data. And the LAS also can provide more interesting evidence. Actually, that's why I want to come here, because I need your support. Because in the maybe 5 years ago, I used the G0V, the graphics from them. But recently, I try to want to use your data, but your graphic is not so amazing to the TV. So probably maybe you can do more in the future. I tell everybody, okay, this is LAS, this is airbox from the people. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.